Davison's All Natural Gym.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sawmill and Forestry Round Table. I am your host, Rick. To my right is Tim, John Davison, Paul, Eric, and Craig Quilter, and their respective channels. So tonight we're going to be reflecting back on a year's worth of shows. We're going to talk about some of our favorite guests, our favorite shows, some favorite segments. If you guys have got a favorite point of the show you'd like to bring up, feel free to comment. We also have a guest with us tonight for a few minutes. It's Canes with Vets. And John Davison is going to explain what his Canes for Vets is all about. Go ahead, John.
I'm not going to explain what Canes for Vets is all about, but I'm going to explain what we're going to do here on the round table, and that is we're hoping to get some military veterans for a 15-minute chat with military vets, a 15-minute salute to military veterans, or we're going to get somebody on every month who is supporting veterans in some way. If you have an organization that supports veterans, if you, I think somebody I have lined up has veterans, and they bring them over and have like a horse and they can ride the horse. The veterans can ride the horse. They have saddles for, like, if the veteran's lost a leg, they can still get him up on the horse in his saddle, or lost an arm or something. And but something like that, if you have a business that benefits veterans, let me know, and we'll try to get you on here for 15-minute salute to veterans. And this month we have Charlie White. He's on Facebook. His Facebook pages should be in everybody's link on their pages. If you go down to the description and everybody's live pages, we probably got a link to his Facebook page. It's Canes for Vets, and I'm gonna let him explain, but he's got a Facebook page and has makes a bunch of canes for veterans, and I probably just better let him explain it since I'm not very good at explaining it. So I'll bring on Charlie here and try to put him on full screen. All right, Charlie.
Am I ready?
How are you doing? You
I'm
are
doing
ready
fine.
to go.
Okay, what we do is we make canes for the vets for no charge. We're based out of Nebraska City, Nebraska. We can ship them wherever they need to go, but they cost $25 for the person that ordered the canes to pay for the shipping. What we've been using, yeah, I got a sawmill, so any scrap wood, anybody knows that you can get a 3x3 out of a piece of scrap wood real easy. But we've been using Christmas trees instead of throwing them in ditches and burning them. We've been recycling Christmas trees. And then here in the Midwest, I'm from a farm community. I got a bunch of farmers that when they go cut the cedar trees out of their pastures, I can reuse those for or for canes also. And on the canes, they're a T-handle cane. The name of the vet goes on the T-handle. Then on the front of the cane, it's what branch they were in, what years they served, and where they served at. And on the back of it, it says, "Thank you for your service."
So, how do you put the names in them? What do you burn them?
Yeah, we burn them in with a.
Here we go. Let me put Jarhead up there. He's got one. Show you what
I
they
don't
do
know
with the names on them. Thank you for your service. I can't read that, but it's where you served.
Yep.
All right.
So by the way, thank you, Charlie. I know I've said thank you before, but this is an awesome cane, and I know some other vets that would love to get one. So, and I know you're going to talk about what you're going to try to do tonight. So, anyway, folks, I have one of those because I'm a busted up old jarhead.
That works. So, what else you make them out of? You can make them out of anything, cedar.
Oh yeah, you can make them out of any kind of wood that that's available. Like I said, right now it's kind of an endless supply of cedar. I think I got about 40, 45 Christmas trees this year that we're going to use. I got a good supply of oak trees that was kind of crooked. So when you go to square them up, the crookedness, you cut them thick enough, then you run them through a table saw to square them up. And then I take I don't know if it's technical terms or what, but here in the Midwest, we call it a side grinder. And that's 4.5-inch floppy disk goes on. And you can round them real easy with the side grinder and the floppy disk.
And it's how long do you want them? How long do you want the sawmiller to cut those? 3x3 by how long?
To be exact, I mean, I can take a 4x4, rip it down to 1.5 inches, and still round it, so you still get 1.5 inch cane out of it. So I mean,
Okay.
it doesn't need to be a 3x3. Anything that's over like 1.5 inches, I like to go about 42 inches long. That way, by the time you get it rounded, because the T handle, I taper it down to about a 1-inch diameter, drill a 1-inch hole into the handle. That way, it should be nice and sturdy for the vet. And then I like to go around the 42-inch long because you need to cut them for the height of every vet. And there's a chart out there. I think I typed in length of canes or something, and it tells you what height the vet or what height any person is on how high the cane needs to be.
So a 2x2 by 48 would work, Charlie.
Oh yeah, that would be perfect. That would 48-inch cane will fit like a person that's like up to 7'6", I think it is.
Oh, that would be awesome.
The average person that's around the 6-foot area, you're lucky to be like around a 35, 36-inch cane is about all a person needs.
But how long is the T handle?
I I make the T handle about 5 to 6 inches long.
Okay.
I
So
found out if you made them too long, that they're easier to break off. So what I like to do is make it about as wide as my hand is. I don't know what it's like, 5 to 6
Right.
inches. That way, the cane will go between your two fingers. Then your weight is always distributed right above the stick. To where if you use your pointer finger and dirty finger, you'll end up leaning on the back of the handle, and you'll end up busting the handle off.
right. So the sawmillers can just do a 2x2 by 48 and give it to find a local woodworker around them.
Yeah, that
right?
would be
and the
willing.
woodworker could make it.
Yeah, that would be willing to donate them or make them or whatever.
Right.
Just to help the vets, that served our country to give us our freedom.
Right.
And you're
That sounds good.
looking for like a local contact to work with, right? Somebody that is the central point of contact.
What I would love to see is me as a woodworker. As I was talking to you the other night, John, I never realized that a lot of the sawmillers never woodwork. All they do is just strictly saw the lumber.
Yep. That's it. I'm just lumber.
Yeah, I myself, I saw the lumber, and I could make dining room tables out of it, bedrooms, you name it, I can make it out of the wood. I just assumed everybody else did that stuff.
No,
But anybody that's
grinder and somebody's losing a limb.
Hey, I've almost lost a finger to one of those things. But I'll say, Charlie, I think that's because this industry is made up of such a different group. Like a lot of us did it, like you probably remember when I started on Forestry Forum, it was all about my cabin and doing the, making the cabin and the interior and everything. But eventually, like a lot of guys, I got caught up in mobile milling for everybody else. And I just didn't have time to do anything for myself. So now I don't do that anymore. And when I run my sawmill, it's just for me. And I love to try to do some woodworking projects, but I'm not a woodworker by any stretch. I'm maybe not as bad as John. I don't, make people lose limbs with my saws. But, if you want, I can make stuff pretty rough,
Well, you look at your cane, it's not perfectly rounded.
No, but it's perfect though. But see, to me, that's the woodworker's eye because it's perfect. It's got character, right?
Yes. And that's why I enjoy doing this side grinder, because nothing's perfect.
Right.
And to me, it's rough and tough, just like you vets were back when you were fighting the wars.
Hey, I'm still rough and tough. I'm just broken. Just don't try to, just if you run away from me, I've got to use high-speed lead because I can't run anymore.
But one good thing, though, the size of the cane, you can at least leave a couple of good knots on them.
That's true. And I will say, for anybody curious, at 250 plus pounds, I lean on mine all the time. It's like a prop. Yeah, there you go. They're beautiful. I have to tell you, they are beautiful.
And anybody that wants to send a friend request to the Canes for Vets, our Facebook page has a picture of the American flag on it. And in the background has got the personalized canes that have been made. So, any woodworker that's interested in finding more information out about it, send us a friend request. I can send you my cell phone number in the private messages, and you guys can give me a call and we can go from there. Like I said, I'd love to get one person in every state to take care of their own veterans.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's a good idea.
And Sawbuck asked a question. I just answered him in the chat, but so he like he said, he's looking for somebody that can make them, but if there's sawyers that have materials they could donate to the woodworker. So if the sawyer like isn't a woodworker, but maybe they've got the scraps they can donate, then if there's a woodworker, the woodworker could do the work and just have the free materials to do it. And I got to tell you guys, they're awesome. I mean, I can't tell you. And I was really, when John said that he was having Charlie come on tonight, I was like, you know, I've known Charlie through forestry forum for years, but I've got one of his canes. Like, that's awesome. So
Well, we've got no problem taking a hardwood maple log and sawing it up into a bunch of 2x2s and donating it to a woodworker that would be more than glad to make the canes. But as far as making stuff, I'm with you. I'm lucky I can pound a nail on a board.
But so if we donate it to a woodworker, what do they do? Contact you, Charlie?
They can contact me, or they can run it on their local, as far as I'm concerned, they could run it on their local Facebook page saying, hey, anybody that's a vet, I'm making canes for the vets for no charge.
Okay.
You know, and they can do whatever they want to do to the canes.
Well, if you want to give John your cell phone number, you know, because we have a lot of woodworkers that we deal with because we do craft. We have a craft shed and we have a lot of crafters come out, and there are a ton of woodworkers, but I'm sure they probably would be interested in contacting you and doing that for the vets.
Yeah, John's got my number. So
Okay, perfect. So
Sure.
John, maybe you can email all of us the number or
Okay.
text us or whatever, and then that way we can,
got it.
then we get them to text Charlie.
So
Stop
basically, you're looking for woodworkers throughout the United States and different states that can help you make the canes and distribute
Oh,
them
yeah.
in their own states.
yeah, I mean, I myself as a woodworker, you know, maybe you guys as sawmillers, you guys are saying you're the best in your state or you're the best in a 3-state area. I don't know if you guys razz each other or not like us woodworkers do. But I myself, I think it's comical when the community I'm from, 7,000 people, there I am shipping canes. I'm in 17 states right now with canes.
Awesome.
And if I was a woodworker and seen a cane that was made, I'm just going to throw out Idaho. A guy in Idaho made a cane for a vet that lived in Nebraska City. I would take that as a personal, pardon the French, it would piss me off because this is my area for the woodworkers. You know, and
Right.
it's like your way of getting your name out there on other projects that a woodworker could make.
Charlie, we have a question here for you. How does he attach the handle, hole, and tension?
I drill a 1-inch hole in the center of the T-handle, and I will round the top of the cane down to 1 inch, put it in there and glue it. The handle is roughly anywhere from like 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches high, so I can go a good 3/4 of an inch into the handle to glue it all together.
Very good.
Okay.
And
Any
if
other
you get
woodworker knows that.
and if you get real nervous, can drill an 1/8 of an inch hole through from the top of the handle down into the cane and stick a 3-inch torch head wood screw to help support it and help hold that handle if you're afraid of your glue joint not holding.
Gotcha.
There you go.
This guy says I can make a cane. Is this a challenge?
You can take it as a
Make it one.
challenge. If
You
that,
bet.
if you want to make it a
What-
challenge, go ahead. We're looking for
What
people to
state,
build
what state
canes.
is he from?
He hasn't said yet. We're looking for
This
people to build
guy, where are
canes.
you from?
We're looking for people to build canes all across the country.
Michigan.
Uh,
There you go.
Michigan. So you got wood. If you got wood,
You say make it
You're
top
good
and
to go.
bottom steel. He has a metal lathe.
so
Yeah, see, and I
That
do.
might be too heavy.
Oh, that would be funny.
But you could put a
So-
spike in the bottom of the cane with a little spring, so that I could just push a button on mine, like if you get into a bad situation, push a button and a spike comes out. And it's for walking on ice, right? The 6-inch spike.
Yeah.
Or
A serrated edge.
a little bayonet. Yeah, exactly. I want a bayonet spike.
Steve says, or attach him like a hammerhead. Yeah, you put a little wedge in there or something, I guess.
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, like I said, I ain't going to tell anybody how to make them. This is just how I make them.
Yeah, and I will say that I don't know, Charlie. I don't remember. It's been a while since you sent me this one. I'm thinking a year and a half, maybe 2 years, but it hasn't even moved. Honestly, I mean, it's solid.
Yeah,
And I ain't exactly light anymore.
yeah. Like I said, I don't know if I got a bad bottle of glue. If my wood shed was a little too cold that day, I glued them. But I had 3 handles that came off of people.
Oh,
Not
really?
a big deal. And all I had to do is re-glue them back on. And that's when I started putting the screws into them to kind of help hold them also.
Oh,
But like
gotcha.
I said,
mine has a screw.
yeah. But like I said, anybody can, whatever they feel most comfortable doing it. I'm just, explaining how I do it or how we do it down here. So,
Right, that's all he's looking for is people to get together on his Facebook page, and when a vet requests a cane, he doesn't have to mail it from Nebraska to Michigan, because we know this guy in Michigan who can make a cane, and all we got to do is call this guy and say, hey, there's a vet right down the road from you, this guy. If you could meet him in McDonald's in a town that's 10 miles away and take him a cane. You know what I mean? And each of you can drive 10 miles and swap out a cane.
Yeah, or a family member could do it or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, or whatever.
So
Yeah,
Steve's saying he's seen a lot in the truck stops. So is that something that you guys do, Charlie? You
No,
set
I
him
think
out to truck stops or something?
I think
No.
he's talking about canes that have knives and things in them.
Oh, okay. All
A
right.
little bit later, there was a comment about.
I saw that with a trigger.
Plug.
All right,
no,
you guys.
every one of these canes is personally made for that vet.
Gotcha.
And, we do not sell them. Every one of these are free of charge to the vet. And on the bottom of them, I put a rubber stopper on them to where, the wood won't slide all over the place.
I got to ask you, Charlie, and you might not want to answer this question, but I got to ask you, it's got to cost you a couple bucks to make these. I mean, are you willing to tell us what you spend? Because you put the rubber stopper on the bottom. You're obviously, they've got shellac, so that's the base of it there. I mean, you put some time into it, but I mean, you got to have a couple bucks in there too.
I got roughly 2 hours per cane by the time you go cut the tree down, or you get a Christmas tree, you cut all the branches off of it, or the cedar trees, you cut all the branches off of it. And then it takes about, 30, 35 minutes to round them. And then, then you got I think those rubber tips are about $3 each. And then it takes about 20 minutes, 25 minutes to do all the wood burning in it. And then the longest part actually is there's 2 coats of varnish on every cane. And it takes about 3 to 4 minutes to varnish it. Then you got to sit around for 30 minutes to an hour to let that coat dry before you can put the other coat on. So, I mean, actually the longest part is varnishing the product.
And you do about 10 or more at a time, don't you?
Yeah. It depends on the order that we receive. Right around Christmas time, we will get a lot of orders. This year at Christmas, I think we had around 50 to 60 of them. We got right around Thanksgiving. So a lot of the veterans got a very nice surprise Christmas present, I hope. for Christmas when they got their own personalized cane.
No, it is.
And
Charlie,
Right
we have a
now-
dealer asking what kind of wood would be the best for the canes.
I've never seen a bad piece of wood in my life. I mean, not to be a smart ass or anything.
Well, I was thinking maybe hardwoods were stronger than pine, but I mean, I could be mistaken. I'm not a woodworker.
I've used pine. I mean, Christmas trees are pine, and I've never had one of them break.
Okay.
We do a lot of cedar around here because of all the cedar trees that we got grown in pastures and stuff. It's kind of a soft wood.
Yep.
And you make it tall enough to where the person cannot actually lean on it, but they still use it for stability. I think if you cut it too short, that will be when they're going to break them because they're leaning on them too hard.
Yes, I see that.
And here's the other one we got to clear up. Yep, he doesn't charge $25 for the cane sawbucks. He charges $25 for the shipping.
Freight.
Yeah,
Yep.
And
that's
that's
paid for shipping.
right.
Yeah,
So he
awkward size
makes
to
the
ship.
cane for free. He wants woodworkers and sawmillers to make the cane for free, and then he wants to avoid this shipping
Since
by having you pick it up.
Since I'm a recipient of one of those canes, I want to tell you that actually Charlie used to send them out without charging for that either. But it was costing him so much shipping that he started charging the shipping, and that's all he's been charging is the shipping when he does ship them. But ideally, he'd rather be able to just give them out. And you go to shows and things too, right? You make sure that you can give them to people locally.
Oh yeah. Around here, we got a lot of rodeos. We'll go to the rodeos. Everybody knows Nebraska City's known for Arbor Day, plant a tree, all that other stuff. And when we have our Arbor Day parade every year, I'll have a booth set up somewhere to where the veterans or even the veterans' family can sign their veterans up, for the free canes. And I'll go up to Omaha, Lincoln, Council Bluffs. I've went down into Kansas before, and I've went down into Missouri before on craft fairs and set a booth up just to where people can kind of see it and sign up for them.
Hey, John, can you put his Facebook page up on the screen here?
I don't know if it'll let me put links or not. If it'll let me put links, I can.
Or if you can do like a snapshot and then do a picture of it. I don't know if you can do that.
I can share my screen if nothing else.
There you go. That would be perfect.
Oh, it's gotten quiet here. I can't let that happen.
There we go.
I see you put it in the chat.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
one
it's in the
thing,
chat.
I noticed, and for the viewers, if you ask a question on a specific channel, let's say you ask a question and you're on John's channel, I have to remember that you're over there because I can't answer you on the stream. And I don't know if the rest of you guys know this, but when I answer on the stream, if he's on John's channel, they don't see my chat.
Right. Yeah.
I just have to remember that.
Can you guys
there's
see
what
that?
the Facebook page look up.
Yeah, we can
Yep.
see that, Charlie.
Yeah, that's
Come
the
through there.
Facebook page that's associated with me. I guess there's 5 or 6 of them out there, but I always tell the people it's the American flag with the personalized canes in the background.
So, John, were you going to try to present? Otherwise, I think I can do one.
I was trying. Hang on.
Let me see. Here, watch this. Boom. Okay.
You got it?
Heck, he could do his background.
I could.
There it is.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep. Perfect.
So
Canes
you
for
can
Vet
get
on
in there,
Facebook.
and then there's all kinds of information on there for anybody interested. But Charlie's been doing this a while.
We've been doing it for, I think this is the 5th year, and we are over 600. I think we're pushing the 650, 675 right now. I think I got about 7 or 8 of them. I got to get out into the wood shop to get made and stuff, but we have not been above 30 degrees since probably Christmas. And this week they're saying single digits for the high and clear down into the 15 to 20 below for the lows.
Ooh.
And it's just a little bit nippy out there in the wood shop.
So, do you have other woodworkers and sawyers already helping you, Charlie?
I have other people that they're not woodworkers. They enjoy finishing products. They don't mind putting varnish and stuff on them, or they don't mind wood burning. But as far as trying to take a square piece of wood and turn it into a round dowel, they refuse to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just to put that out there for anybody that's just tuned in, this is Charlie White with Canes with Vets, and they are looking for other woodworkers and sawmills to supply pieces of wood to help out with Canes for Vets in other states. He would like to find at least one for every state, and if more, that would be great, right, Charlie?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would love the more the merrier. That way the word gets out to where we can make these vets proud of what they did for our country.
So Canes for Vets has got a Facebook page. So you can go on to Facebook and search Canes for Vets. It'll come up. Contact Charlie if you can help. And it doesn't matter what state you're in. They're looking for people in all states across the United States to help out with Canes for Vets.
And the Canes for Vets page has the American flag in the center of it and personalized canes in the background.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And
All right.
it's in the personal
Yeah.
it's not a
listed as
group.
Right.
It's not a group. It's under the personalized ones. I did it that way to where I could control it better and try to keep all the scammers out of it.
Right.
To where if it's a group, hell, anybody can join a group, and then you start getting scammed left and right. And I thought this way, do the personal page, and I can kind of pretty well control the scammers to where nobody gets scammed and they get pissed off at Canes for Vets because they got scammed out of money.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
So let me ask
Sounds
you a
good.
question, Charlie. How long have you been running a sawmill?
I've been running one for about 10, 11 years.
Okay, so now I thought you were running yours though before I started. So how long you been on Forestry Forum?
On what?
Forestry Forum.
I don't think I am I?
I swear to God, you're on Forestry Forum. I've been telling everybody I've talked to you on Forestry Forum.
Not that I'm aware of.
Really? Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
There's a Charlie White.
Wrong Charlie White.
Isn't that funny? I'm telling you, there is.
What's
But
his
I
call
will
sign?
admit that when I first saw you were doing Canes
There
for
you go,
Vet, I
Jim.
thought, oh, you're up in Canada. So
No, I'm in Nebraska.
Yeah, I know. So it must be that there's another, either he's another Charlie White or he's a Charlie, and I just thought it was White. That's funny. Well, then you're not. See, in all this time, I even told you when I was messaging you when I got my cane that we had talked on Forestry Forum.
Yeah, I guess
thought
I
it was
never caught
Charlie
that.
White Sawmill.
Yep. Charlie White Sawmill. Or Canes for Vets. Send him a friend request. Let's get some canes built.
Yeah, and like I said,
Sounds good.
I would love to see every vet that needs a cane, to have one of them.
Yeah, and not have to spend a $25 shipping. I think it's a
Okay.
great idea.
Exactly.
Let's do it.
I mean,
Well,
I
Jim-
get some donations for the shipping, and the way the economy was before Christmas, a lot of those donations dried up, which I do not blame people because money's getting tight.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Very good. We're starting to get some responses here. Jim says Charlie's going to get a hold of you. He'll be more than glad to give it a shot. And we have Ray Salmon. I'm in Maine, an old Sawyer, and we'll look up Charlie. Glad to help.
There you go.
So it's getting
all
out
I
there,
can say
guys.
is, all I can say is thanks to all you folks for helping to get the word out.
Yep.
Well, we
I
love
think that'll
what
be
you're
good.
doing. I obviously, if there's anybody new and you didn't catch earlier on, I'm the recipient of one of those canes about a year and a half or two ago, and so I was thrilled to hear that you were coming on tonight, Charlie. And I can't believe that there's another Charlie on Forestry Forum that I've been mixing you up with. So
Oh, that's funny.
if I hadn't asked you the question about how long you've been running a sawmill, I would never have known.
Yeah, no, it's not a big deal.
No, it's funny though. It is kind of funny, but yeah, I mean, it's a bona fide real deal. And folks, I got to tell you, I am in Washington State, not Nebraska, and I might be the only one in Washington with one of these. I don't know.
Yes,
But-
you are.
But you know what? Charlie sent this to me, and so when there was a question about shipping, he did not charge me. He ended up sending it as a gift, just straight up. And so I've been trying to pay him back by doing some advertising. I've done a few times for him for that reason. But no, he didn't even charge me the shipping, and I know it cost him a fortune. So thank you again, Charlie.
Not a problem.
I think
Like
I
I
got a
said-
guy here too, Charlie.
Charlie, we got Virginia said they're going to see what they can do for you.
Like I said, thanks to all you folks that are going to make this work.
Oh, that's
right.
awesome. I love to see
Thank
other
you.
guys doing it. That's fantastic.
And I'd like to just throw it out there. If there's any woodworkers in New York that are watching this, we will be glad to supply you with anything you need to make these canes. We can't make them, but I can sure saw stuff out for you to be able to make them.
Absolutely.
Likewise, us too.
Yeah, we're all up
Yeah.
for
There we
donation.
go. Yeah, we go Central New York, Eastern New York.
Hey, now I'll tell you, if you're watching in Washington State and you're on the eastern side and you want some saplings, I know a guy. I'm always getting rid of saplings. And, I don't mill hardwoods, but softwoods work fine.
Yep. Same here.
Okay,
All right,
now I
Charlie,
got a
thanks, sir.
question. I got a question
Okay,
for
good.
all you guys. What is the most common wood that you guys sawmill?
Go ahead, Rick and Tim. Start it off.
We saw a lot of hard maple and cherry.
Cherry. Yep.
Really?
Black cherry here too.
Really? That'd be
Yep.
sweet.
Ponderosa pine and Doug fir.
Pine and fir. Greg,
Spruce and fir.
spruce and fir. Man, mine's red oak.
And John.
Red oak, red oak, red oak. All day. I got
But
red oak
Charlie,
all day.
the Craig is in you're in Nevada, right?
Utah.
Utah.
Or Utah. He's in Utah, so he's like me out here on the west side of the country, and he's in an arid area like I am, where of course his trees are all dead because the bugs killed them. But we're in that out of the rain shadow, a lot
Yep.
less rain, so a lot of ponderosa. I have probably 80% ponderosa pine and on my property now, but mostly I've milled Doug fir, ponderosa, and some western red cedar. Very little hardwoods.
Craig's trees are all kiln dried before he gets them.
That's why he uses carbide tip blades, because they're already
Oh,
hard as rock.
There's a lot of truth to that statement.
All right, Charlie. Thanks, sir. I hope you. I hope we get something out of here. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I hope
Thank
we
you
put something
guys for
together
letting me
you.
on. And if you ever want me back, on again, John's got my number, and we can set
Yep.
this up again.
Well, I'd love
All
to
right.
have you
Thanks,
on.
sir.
So
I appreciate
thanks
it.
again, Charlie.
Okay, thank you guys.
thank you, Charlie. We
Before you
appreciate it.
go, before you go,
Thank
wait,
you.
wait. Hold on. Before
Okay.
you go. So I know that John, you served, right?
Yep.
And your wife served.
Yep.
How
And my
about you,
son.
Craig?
No.
And Andy and Paul?
No.
Rick and Tim?
They wouldn't let me in. End of Vietnam. They didn't want anybody.
Okay, so it's just the two of us here, but a lot of Sawyers are veterans too. I've noticed there's a lot of veteran Sawyers. So if you're in the chat, and I see Joe Main popped in. Hi, Joe. If you're in the chat and you're a veteran, do me a favor, put it in the comments real quick because I'm curious to see how many we've got.
Absolutely.
And thank you again, Charlie.
Chris is
thank
in the
you,
Navy.
Canes for Vets, Sawmill.
Like I said, if I can do anything else for you guys, do not hesitate to give me a call.
All right. Thanks, sir.
Same here, Charlie.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Have a good
All right.
night.
Thank you.
Later.
Joe Main popped in, and I got to say, Joe, we haven't talked since you made the move over to Wood-Mizer, and I missed the live you were on, but we'll have to chat again soon. Of course, my sawmill's buried under the snow, and it ain't doing nothing right now, but
Yes,
hopefully
Navy.
all is well at Wood-Mizer. Last we talked, you were pretty happy, so
Chris is in the Navy.
I saw that. Yeah, we got at least. I'll bet there's more out there. Just we'll see if they start popping up and saying something.
They're probably all on X and they don't know how to talk.
So while we're waiting,
Come on, John.
while we're waiting,
Yeah, they're not the military next.
I got it. Okay, so while we're waiting to move to the next topic, I've got another question for each of you. How many bands? And this goes back to the very first one of these that we did. So how many bands do each of you have?
On hand right now?
Yeah.
Not counting the broken ones.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's just go with the good ones.
The
I
good
think
ones.
I think I got 30 on hand right now.
That's it. Okay. How about you, John?
Man, I got 10, 20, 30, 40, 55. I have 55 good ones that have never been sharpened. I've got some left over from an auction. I probably got 10 left over from an auction. And I probably have 30 that have about one more sharpening left, and I just use them for nail
So
strikes.
you're up to about 90 then. Okay. So how about you, Tim?
42, and I got 2 on the sharpener.
So almost 45. And then
Yep.
I'm waiting. You're last, Craig. How about you, Andy and Paul?
Probably between 75 and 100. Usable.
Okay, all right,
ones.
Craig. How many you got?
I'd probably have to ask Joe,
200?
to be honest.
Why don't you ask Mother? I bet she knows.
Mother doesn't know any of that stuff.
He doesn't tell her.
She knows. She has to walk around them in the garage. I've got a couple hundred.
So I've got probably about 90. And the reason I asked is I was talking to John earlier, and we were kind of talking about the main theme for tonight, reflecting back. And out of curiosity, I went back to find the first episode we did, which was February 17th of 24. And early on, a guy had popped in and said he had 4 bands. And he wanted to know something like, how many should I have? I think it was. And I remember we were all like, 4. And at the time I was like, well, I've got like 75. But it's one of the things I find interesting is that I wonder how much things have changed since Wood-Mizer quit the resharp program, because I used to get away with between 45 and 60 bands, no problem, because I could have 15 that were shipping out and 15 that were coming back, and 15 I had in a box, and it did get to the point where I was pushing 60 to 75, but that was because I was doing a lot more milling on the road, and because of that, I would sometimes hit the road with 45 bands just to be safe, right? Because you never know. It could be that day that you're doing big monster logs that have a lot of metal in them, and you're just, wasting bands like crazy or something. But I'm thinking about today, in those days, it was no big deal because you could ship a box off to Wood-Mizer and they sent you the labels and everything, right? So it was
Right.
literally, you got the box, you took the good bands out, you already had a box of old bands, you slapped the label on them and gave it back to the UPS guy and moved on. And so I'm kind of curious. It's not really a reflecting back. It is in a way, because that was the first episode we were talking about bands, and I saw Joe pop up, and I thought, well, how has the lack of resharp changed the amount of bands people have on hand, if at all?
Well,
We probably have more new ones on hand than we used to. New ones still in the box.
Well,
Right.
mine
Why
has
that?
changed because I got a whole different mill. So all my other ones I sold with a mill, my little mill.
Right. But and you resharpen your own anyway, right?
Correct.
We
But
resharpen our
but
own.
Rick and I saw us use the same blade now. So,
That's
if he needs them, I can give him, or vice versa, whatever.
Right.
What we do is we normally at the Boonville Woodsman's Day show, they have Wood Miser tent there, and they have a sale going on their blades, and we'll buy 3 boxes each at the show, and then most of our blades I can get 10 sharpenings out of it before it breaks.
And you're running Wood Miser blades?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
The
know
double
that.
hard.
Hudson doesn't make
Yeah.
them.
No, the
Nope.
Wood Miser makes them for Hudson.
Ah.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
you
Wood
should,
Miser.
so guys, you really should just talk to Joe.
absolutely.
I've tried
Who's
telling
on?
Rick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, the thing of it is, we go to the show, we don't have to pay shipping,
That's true. But he doesn't charge shipping when he sends you bands.
and
on double hards.
Oh,
at the
double
end
hard. Okay.
at the end of the show, we go to pick up our blades, and they give us a ride out to our truck, which is a mile and a half away.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Oh, nice. So you're
Especially in the
thinking
mud.
what you're saying.
Red, shut up.
So for me, it was I don't know. Wood Miser had that and there was probably only like a month there in the middle of COVID, or maybe 2 months, in the middle of COVID somewhere, where they said they were behind on their blades and it could be up to a month. And I was like, nope, that's it.
Yeah. So you
I
buy it.
will
Yeah.
never be without 2 open boxes minimum.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'll have 20 unopened boxes all the time, or 20 blades that are not opened all times.
Yeah, that's when
and-
actually it was during COVID. I did the same thing. I bought like 30
Yeah,
bands, just like boom,
I'm-
screw it.
I'm not going for a month without a band,
Now
can't
I
do
could,
Right. All right, so what are we doing? You want to get to the next part of the show? Reflecting
now-
back?
Before we do that, I only run 2 bands at a time. I'll sharpen
Oh.
one while I'm running the other, and I'll just keep swapping them back and forth until I break one.
That's what I do.
I don't run a bunch of bands and then sharpen them. I rotate 2 until I
Nope.
lose one.
Yeah, I think that's the difference
Nope.
in type of operation, right? So when you're milling, like when I was milling on the road, I was milling between 6 and 8 hours or more a day.
Right.
And I'm changing bands every 2 hours, and
Yep.
I can't resharpen them. So I would hit the road with 30 to 45 bands on a big road job, and literally go through anywhere from 4 to 8 bands in one day.
Right. You have
And
to.
yeah, and throw them under my truck. I literally would throw them under my truck in a pile under my truck, teeth down, which would really make Joe shudder. And then at the end of the day, box those up, and next job, because I would travel from job to job, go do 2 or 3 days here, travel to the next job, do a couple of days there. Well, I'd just pull out another box if I've used all of the last box, and right back to it. Fresh band, on it goes, and away you go for 2 hours. Unless you hit metal or something else. The worst one I ever did, I ran through 8 bands in one day, and I never hit a single piece of metal. I was also milling 500
Jim,
board
sorry.
feet an hour that day of dry logs.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. If I get down a blade, I just walk over to the cellar and grab one out of a box,
right. I think
Yeah,
that's
and then
also,
if I get down a blade, I go over to the cellar and grab one out of his box.
yeah, I think that's also a difference between the high production mills. So I saw that, Rick. The high production mills, like Craigie's, is even faster than mine. And when you're able to mill 500 plus board feet an hour, you can go through bands real quick.
Yeah.
Now the carbides, you must run longer though.
The carbides do last longer, but I try to save those for specialty stuff, harder stuff.
Now you're running a lot of bimetals.
Yeah, I've Joe's. I've about half the blades I've got from Joe have been bimetal.
I love bimetals, but I typically only use those on dead wood. Oh, that's right. That's what you mostly mill.
I
Yeah,
texted
dry,
Joe. I
dead
texted
dry,
Joe
yeah.
if he knew how many bands I had. He just said a lot.
A lot. Yeah. No, I think I run double hards mostly, and I noticed a comment there on 747s. I found 747s ripped through black locust like nobody's business, except I ate so much sawdust I lost my voice for a week afterwards. Because the problem with the 747s is they do clear a lot of sawdust out of the cut, but
they're
if
taking
the
a
wind's blowing at you and all that sawdust is coming out the side, it just goes right at your face. You know.
So I do the same thing that you do, Rick. You know, I run 2 at a time, and when
Right.
it gets dull, I walk back to the shop. I put it on the setter, put it on the sharpener, and 3 minutes later, I'm back at the mill. You know, and then
Right.
I run it till one of those breaks. When one of them breaks, I fold the other one up. I put a piece of wire around it, and I put it in a box, and I figure it's going to break next time. So I'll use it for a nail, you know, when I think there's
put
some
that
nails
question
in the
back
wood
up.
or something like that.
Put that question back
Right.
up, Tim.
And so I do the same thing. But when you're on the road, the perfect thing on the road when I'm portable, you can throw that Woodland Mills in the back of your truck, and it'll run off your car battery.
Yes.
You
That's
know,
right. It will.
and
Yeah, but you
at
know,
lunch,
after 8 hours of milling, I ain't sharpening bands.
no, I know, but you know, at lunch I'll throw one on it, you know, and boom, I'm done.
Well, you're
You know,
more
you get-
hardcore than me, buddy. At lunch, I'm eating
Ooh.
lunch, and
Well-
when it's after work, I'm after work, I'm having a shower and pouring a bourbon. Now, I want to answer this question right here, and I'm going to give you the same answer, and it's going to be truthful and well. Let me put it this way: bimetals will cut through nails. They will cut through nails and survive sometimes.
Sometimes.
But sometimes they won't. And so I will tell you that if you're cutting nails, first thing that the easiest way to find a nail is
Put a new band on.
put a new band on. But honestly, I've had bimetals literally cut through like in one log one time. I think I had like 4 or 5 nails that bimetal band cut through and made it to the end of the log, and it was still straight cutting. It was chattering, but it was still straight. Now, of course, then I changed it out. But sometimes they just don't, they're not going to do it. But of all the bands I've used, and I've been milling since 2011, and all the bands I've used, the bimetals survive metal better than anything else I've ever used.
Same here.
To answer that question, MEB, is that MEB?
MEB.
We don't need any more snow.
No more.
You can
No more.
you can keep it there. We appreciate the gesture, but you can keep it.
Right.
Thanks anyway. I just had to say that.
Hey, I've already used my snowblower once this year. We had
One
I
time.
did say
once.
Wow, you
now
poor
I can
guy.
put it away.
We use them once a day up here.
Yeah.
Maybe twice.
I had
I
to
didn't
use
know
my
you
broom.
played the violin, Rick.
Hey, you guys want to have a feat? Plow a path down to a big pine to cut it down. That's fun.
Well, my only question is, what were you smoking that you thought you needed to do that?
Not a thing. I don't
We
smoke
are-
nothing.
We are running out of logs. We can't get in the woods. What happened is usually the month of November, early December, we'll cut down a bunch of trees and bring the logs out and stack them up by the mill so we have them. But we got snow early this year and it just hasn't stopped since.
Yeah,
So
no, I've seen that. You guys,
I
and
think we got-
you're
I
getting
think we
hammered
got-
Yeah,
again
got
now.
buried.
4 hardwood logs left and now the big pine, which is really getting to be a pain in the ass to get the logs out there.
And Paul, I wanted to wring your neck today when you said old-fashioned winter. I heard that one more time.
Hey, did you guys see?
No.
Did you guys
One
see
more.
Joe Ming's? Did you see Joe's post right there,
Yep.
John?
Had it on the screen.
You might want to put that up. 20% off.
It's been up.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I was moving around a little bit. 20% off, free shipping on double hards. Yes, that's awesome, Joe.
They usually have a
Okay.
good deal on the double hards.
Well, 66 degrees in Tennessee today. Oh, I'm so happy for you. All right, so let's get to the
Oh,
subject.
that's Mark, Rick. He's dicking with us
Let's
up in Northville.
let's get to the night's subject real quick. So I'll start with Tim. What was your favorite episode?
I'm gonna say, and probably because we own a Hudson, I'm biased. I really enjoyed having Hudson on here, both with Michael. Very knowledgeable guy, and it's just like he really impressed me with all the knowledge of not just Hudson, but all the different sawmill manufacturers. I was really impressed on what he knew about them. So I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I had to be biased. I like that show the best, I think.
No, that was good. He was a good guest for sure.
I think my favorite show was when John Faber from Hudson was on, and he was outside with his girlfriend filming him with the cell phone running the edger for us. And it was cold.
He stayed late that night too, didn't he?
Yeah, he
almost
did.
The whole end. Yeah.
He did.
I think he was freezing to death at the end.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. He went all out for us.
Matter of fact, he was in his truck, remember? Finishing up that live.
Yeah.
He was in his truck that night.
Yep.
How about you, Craig? I know you
Well-
watched. I know you watched a lot of episodes. What was your favorite?
Either but the Jack Beckwith or Joe Main. I'm going to be biased,
That's okay.
like Tim.
Jack was
Jack was very knowledgeable.
Jack was
Yeah.
very knowledgeable, and Joe was good with the blades.
Yeah, see,
Actually, Actually, with Jack, I learned quite a bit about blades because remember he was going over blades on the rotation and stuff and how they start cracking after so many rotations of the wheel and everything. That really impressed me.
No, all the guys. I think all the guys that we've had on there have been super good guests, and everyone's learned each time.
Oh yeah.
John, I'm saving you for last because I know you did your homework.
List.
So, Eric, what was your favorite episode?
Honestly, I don't know, but there was one where I think you, Rick, started asking me about off-grid power systems, and we got into the most off-the-wall non-forestry and sawmilling topic that night, and it was actually kind of a lot of fun. So I think that might have been it. Though going back to the first one, honestly, there's been a lot of them, and they've been good, with Hudson and Woodmiser and everybody else that's been on. They've just been a lot of fun, and I think maybe there was a night, I don't remember which one it was, that we were all debating flipping 100 degrees, 180 degrees or 90 degrees.
Yep, I remember that.
Michael went out and actually made like 2 or 3 videos afterwards. But I will tell you, at the very end, he said he had to give it to me because going 90 degrees was actually faster. So I thought that was really funny. So that might be my favorite one.
Well, that spurned some videos for Michael, so that was a good topic. Paul, how about you?
I think it was I was going to say the Jack Beckwith one, obviously, Woodmiser. But I think I get to go with the hazardous tree removal. It brought out the most stories. Everybody had a story about a tree falling on them or almost falling on them and so forth. So I think it's a good, informative video to watch. I like the co-op too, just because it's sort of a different vein, different ideas. Don't know if I ever get one, but it's good to explore.
Yeah, it was good to explore co-ops. So, okay, John.
That
one
mine's
that
simple.
did
Mine's
homework.
I do have to say I felt sorry for Zach from Logrite.
Yes.
He tried so hard, but his internet connection was so horrible. And God bless him. He tried, but I mean, and what we got out of it was informative, but it was so hard to ache through the internet connection. But
Well, we
you
went
know,
to see
yeah.
we went to
He
see
was-
Zach at the Boonville show, and I think he ran and hid from us. He
Doesn't
wasn't there.
if he
Please
just
get-
hooked
you
his
should
computer up to the
invite-
internet,
You should invite him back on. Logrite, they make the best can hooks. I mean, they really do. And I think it'd be good to try to have them back on. Maybe get them with a better
I
internet
agree.
connection. And I missed that one. I was out at the cabin, I think. Though I do have Starlink now, so I could do this from the cabin on a Saturday night now. So
That's great.
be
That is
live
great.
from the cabin.
Yeah. All right, John, go ahead.
My favorite episode is the Wood Miser, Jack Beckworth. That was real informative to me, but that wasn't my favorite, part of an episode. There was some funny moments, man. I was dying on some of these.
Hope the craft box is going to come up.
The craft box has got to come up. There was a few other things. Paul had one in one of these that I got a video clip of Paul too.
Oh well, let's
Oh
have
my
it.
gosh, I was dying. You remember when we used to put that right up here in that corner?
Bless you,
We would
Tim.
have that. We would have that little logo, and somebody was always like moving so that logo wasn't appearing over their head.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that? And
Thanks,
then
Greg.
Paul did the funniest thing when that was going on. I'll find that one too. But so here's our first episode. This is real scary, guys. The very first minute that we were on. Well, I probably won't let it go for a minute. We'll just take it off the stage. But the very first time we were live, it was scary.
There we are.
Oh my!
Do we have a specific topic this evening, or just
No, just basically talking
We all look
about
scared to death.
sawmilling and answering any question.
hey?
We all look scared to death.
Yeah.
We didn't even
Wait,
have a topic.
Talk about deer in the headlights look.
That was a year ago, guys. That's not bad, huh?
Nah.
We come a long way in a year, I thought.
Yeah, I think so.
There's our first ever
Two
question.
comments.
We-
You guys click on comments so you can see comments over there to the right.
Oh yeah.
I
Thunderous
just
night.
shared. I just did a quick share on Facebook.
Oh, here they come.
Nope.
Thunderous Night, how you doing tonight? V Dog, how you doing? Steve K, good evening.
There's our first few viewers right there.
Basically about sawmilling, forestry, and any
Thunderous
questions you
night.
might have.
Howdy.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I think it's been a while since we.
That was our first comment. Howdy.
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 I like the Sawbucks here. He says, "I like the one when you were short people."
Yeah, he joined us for a
I
little while.
read
from
that.
his
Now
truck.
you didn't read it the
I
way
got him.
I read that,
got
and I
him on
went,
here.
"Short people? I haven't been short in 50 years."
Well, I'm getting shorter.
Well, let's see. Here's one. Rick's got to talk about something every episode. The same thing every episode. What is that, guys? What's he talk about? The one thing he talks about every episode. Come on.
Oh, I can't think.
Craig?
It's not fishing.
Probably
so-
John, don't bring up diesel drip.
Yeah, I got my diesel trip clip on there too. And I got that on my diesel trip.
He talks about his brother.
But,
He
well,
talks
you
about
know.
me all the time.
Come on, Craig. You don't know it? He talks about something every episode. Here it is. Ready? Here it is.
Cash boar that finally made it to the West Coast So our ash trees are probably toast.
Ash.
I
Yep.
only have
They're
one
out.
on the property here, so I don't have to worry about it. But
They
a
say
lot
in
of the
10
West
years
Coast does.
they say in 10 years there will not be a ash saw log left in the United States.
So in 10
Every
years, there'll be
episode,
no
don't you think?
ash.
Somebody,
Well, now
Somebody
it's only
asked
9
about
years,
it.
John.
huh?
Now it's only 9 years. We only have to hear it 9 more times.
Somebody asked, you know what I mean? Somebody asked every episode,
Yeah.
you know, what do you think about the ash? Or, you know, let us know about the ash. I'm not
I
saying
don't want to know what you think
you know.
about his ash
or his box.
or his box. That's
Now,
right.
that's been changed now. That's been changed thanks to you, John.
No,
Thanks to
no,
you.
we're keeping it the
Oh,
box.
no, it's not the box anymore.
What is it now?
After
It's the-
shed.
Crafter's Shed.
Now, John, I got to tell you, after watching your
So Rick's
Outlook
ash
for
is not no
2025.
longer in the box.
yeah, after watching your look ahead for 2025 video, and you said they're going to be fun videos, I'm going to watch the diesel drip video. I want to see just how fun it's going to be.
I put diesel drip video out.
Yeah, you did.
I'm gonna put one. You know what? You know what I decided? I'm gonna put a diesel drip video out every time somebody asks about it in chat. If somebody asks about it every month, I'm gonna put out a video about
That
it.
would
every
be
month.
funny.
I
That would
just-
be funny.
I'm just gonna do that every month.
I want to
Somebody
see
asked
that.
about
I'm gonna
gonna
let's
do
hold him to it, guys.
I'm gonna
Absolutely.
do it.
Left field, here we go. That's right. That's what we're good at. Straight out in left field. That's
Oh yeah.
Well, we don't have any questions coming from the audience right now, so we just got to make crap up.
So, but you know what? Here's that brings me right to this clip.
Okay, wait a minute. You guys wanted to know if we renamed it. This is my listing I just put up today on Facebook.
No.
Crafter's Woodshed.
You see that? Yeah,
box.
that's it.
I think it's a
That's
box.
the box.
Sure, looks like a box. Yeah.
No more box. Nope.
It's a
Nope.
wood box.
Nope. Nope.
Well, I'm gonna start doing videos about that too.
Or is it a stuffed box?
We had to shovel the box today, John. It was knee deep
Knee deep in the box. There you go.
on top.
I
There
just
you
want to know
go.
how much ash is in the box.
There you go, John.
I
There's
know,
a
I know.
comment for you.
I hear you. I just asked who's the best looking. It was definitely me.
Second best, he said.
I know that's a mid typo.
I'll bet
So
sales are better
That's
at the
old
box.
Steve.
Here's our first episode still, and here's the very minute. I think we were going to limit it to an hour, and we already went 2 hours, and we were
Wow.
still. This is the very end of the episode, and we're still
In the
getting
videos
questions.
because I will
No?
answer every question I can answer. So I know,
You know, Rob's
Mike is
Wood
right.
and Custom
Sometimes when your
Sawmilling is
videos
still
take off
asking
and go
questions
hard,
right here.
but
You know,
absolutely ask questions in the
Rob paid
videos
for
because
me to
even
have
Rob paid for me to get a gallon of diesel to try it out.
did I not take that off? Oh yeah, I took it off.
Yeah, he
But-
paid for me to go get a gallon of diesel,
Yep, I remember that.
and I did. I went and got a gallon of diesel and I tried it out.
But you used the spray bottle, didn't you?
Yeah, just a squirt bottle. Because honestly, I like my my regular water lube. It works fine. But occasionally you'd get something like I had a fungus killed Doug fir. Man, that would gum up the bands. And then then I would drip some diesel on it. It would clean it right off. So I mean, I was impressed with how well it worked. If the regular stuff didn't work, boy, you put a little diesel on there, and cleans right off.
But John, I watched that diesel drip video you made, and I have to say I was impressed because you had a sight glass and everything where you can just make it a drip per second or whatever. And I'm like, wow, that took some thought to make you do that to where you can see the drip actually going on the blade, not from the tip, but through the glass. I was really impressed on your ingenuity on it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't. You can't count it at the tip because it's all covered with sawdust.
Correct. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That big wad of sawdust at the end of the drip is actually good because it's not really dripping on the blade. It's
Right. It's like
something
riding
the
on it. Yeah.
sawdust
Yep.
you know, and riding on it. And
I agree.
Well, if I'm
you
not
got to be
wrong,
able to see that drip.
I think Cook sawmills run their blades through a sponge that has diesel on it.
A
Yeah.
felt. They run a
Yeah,
felt pad.
I've seen some like that.
The Timber
There
King,
was
the Timber
a-
Kings
there
do
was
that too.
Yep.
There was a comment
pad.
earlier about us being computer geeks.
I saw
And
that.
I was thinking about that, and I thought, well, actually, you know, turning logs into lumber isn't exactly, you know, it takes a little bit of gray matter power to do a good job taking a log and making it into usable lumber. I think
agree.
that's kind of, it sort of fits. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, you got to learn how to look at a log and how to actually make that log not just be wasted in firewood, right?
Well, I'm going to tell you right straight up. I hated math in school. I didn't see where math had any useful part in my life. But when I got my first sawmill, boy, oh boy, I was really surprised how much math you really have to use.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All
Well,
the time.
that and that little formula Paul and Andy gave us, man, that cut a lot of time down. Thanks, Paul.
You're welcome. We still use it too as well.
Absolutely, on the wall every time. Boom. Oh, there's a cant. That's what I need.
Even if you use, like I do, simple set, you still got to know the math.
Yeah.
You know, the computer ain't going to drive the machine for you.
No.
And
But
what
you
size
also got to
blade
be
you're
able to.
using.
You also got to be able to look at the log, the way the log's laying on the deck, you know, where the knots are, if there's any. I mean, there's so much to it. So yeah, I mean, we're also YouTubers, and you know, for those that don't know it, YouTube takes a little bit of work. I spent 50 hours a week working on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah, Eric,
Yeah,
but we're all basically a big family because we all strive for the same thing. I mean, you know,
True.
we're all cutting wood, we're all doing lumber, slabs, crafters wood, whatever.
Yep.
But I mean, we're like a big family. I mean,
That's
you know,
true.
you're in the West Coast, we're on the East Coast. Craig's in the center. Craig and John's in midsection. We got Steve down south. I mean, you know, we're all over the place. But all in all, we're all striving for the same thing. So we're a big family. That's the way I look at it.
Putting
You're
food on the
right
table,
about
buddy.
that. Yeah, it's true. And I will tell you that the sawmilling community seems to be that way anyway, but the YouTube community is even more so. And I think, you know, the one thing when you first start out, you don't realize there's no competition in YouTube. There's none. And
No.
the truth is you end up, you find out that you're just one big family. You work together because, you know, as I've said many times, someone can watch one of my videos and, you know, that might be like, I think my video today is 12 and a half minutes long. Well, at the end of that 12 minutes, you go watch Craig's video and Rick and Tim's video and Andy and Paul's video and John's video. And you've got an hour now that you've just watched videos, but that's it. That's only an hour. So
Right.
yeah, it's one big family and we absolutely work together.
Yeah, that's my
I
morning
can-
routine. 2 cups of coffee and watching the videos.
Yeah.
I could tell you-
Unfortunately for me, my morning routine is edit with coffee, although actually emails. I do a lot of, no, I do not want to review your stuff. It's really funny. I get accused of reviewing a lot of things. I turn down 95%. But yeah, my first hour is mostly business and reading the news. And then it's edit until 2 or 3 in the afternoon when I finally, and I start at 4:30. It's about 2 or 3 in the afternoon when I finally stop and I'm able to watch some YouTube videos.
Well, I'm going to tell you the truth, Eric. Last time we talked on the phone and you told me the stats of YouTube, it really surprised me. I looked them up after we got off the phone, and it surprises me how many people are not monetized on YouTube.
Oh, it's insane. Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember the stats, but it was, let me see. Do you remember what? Well, I know that of the monetized, so 8.5%, this is what I remember, 8.5% of all, so it's only 8.5% of all YouTube channels that get 1,000 subscribers.
Yes,
About
right.
50% of those actually get monetized. And of all of the monetized channels, it's something like, I think it's 60% of all monetized channels make less than $100 a year. only 4% make more than $12,000 a year. So think about that. 4% of all monetized channels make $12,000 or more a year, I think is what it was. It's mind blowing. And so when I think a lot of people, and I don't mean to get off on a YouTube channel, but YouTube, whatever, you can get on my soapbox, but we're all YouTubers here, right? That's what we're doing. But it is, I think a lot of people think that YouTubers make a lot of money, right? Well, if you had 2 million subscribers, I suppose you would, but most don't. In fact, the vast majority don't even make $1,000 a month on YouTube. It's crazy. So obviously we must be crazy because we do this anyway.
Well, we all start out just doing it for fun.
Yeah.
No.
Hell, you started out flying planes. That's how ours started.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Well, and I still try to do it for fun. I'm always been one that I like to teach people things, but I try to, and when it's not fun, I have to stop myself and remind myself, because I do 3 videos a week, every week. And I always have to sit back and say, okay, wait a minute. This needs to be fun, buddy. If you're getting too serious, you need to knock it off and get back to having a little fun. So I actually was recording a video today about making mistakes. And I was like, I'm just going to have a little fun with this. So you got to do it.
I think YouTube actually just changed their requirements for monetization, lowered them a little bit. A lot of people are having problems getting the watch hours, and I think they dropped the subscriber required to 500, I believe.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
503,000 watch hours, but you weren't fully monetized. You were partially monetized.
Partially.
You had to still get 1,000 and 4,000 to get fully monetized. But so I just saw Chris's post right there. So he's just under that 4%. And so Chris, my last year wasn't quite that, but it wasn't too far off, I guess. But I'm almost there. Of course, January's real bad. January's not a good month ever on YouTube anyway. So I'm down about 40% in the month of January. So, but yeah, if I kept up the momentum I have right now, I'd make that 4%. Whoop-de-doo, dog. So I might make $1,000 in a month. I'm rich.
Yeah, and then it becomes a job, a job for $1,000 a month.
I think that that's the key. I think that's the key is don't make it a job. It's a job in the sense that you got to work at it a lot. But as long as you remember to have fun, I think, and keep being true to the point, then
yeah, but a lot of people don't do that, Eric. It's like, oh, I got to make that video. I got to do that short. I got to do this. I got to do that. And then to me, that's a job. And like Rick and I, we just go out and we'll grab whatever, make a video. Oh, okay. He edits it. I do the shorts.
Right.
Because I go off the old video, so it's easy for me to pop out 14 shorts. I could do it in 20 minutes, because I'm using old video content. The biggest thing is, but we always have our phones or cameras or whatever with us, and we can whip out a video. I don't know, Rick, 2 or 3 videos and just one tree cutting, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, yeah. When I was mobile milling, I could put out 8 videos in one day's worth of milling. Absolutely.
No, that's us putting out more than one video on a tree cutting. We got that from you.
Oh, John?
You had like 10 videos in one spot, and I said, you've been there for a while, and I was only there for 2 days.
Location.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, yeah.
Eric.
Oh, yeah. Because I would do what I would do in those days. I would set up 3 GoPros and every 2 hours change the batteries. But I would just let them run. I wouldn't talk to the cameras. I just ran because I was milling for customers. So, that's what I was doing. And what I would do, though, is I would come away with 6 to 8 hours worth of video footage of milling. And so when I was back at home, then I would stop and I would start cutting video from that content. And so, yeah, I could be somewhere 2 days and come away with, 16 videos. And I will tell you, it was a lot easier in one way because I was just doing what I do. But there was a time where I started having to think about what was the point of the next video, because it gets to the point where it's like, well, here's another Doug fir log going on the mill.
Repetition. Yep, repetition. You guys mess it up or swap it up.
Right. Now, obviously now, I mean, anybody that's on my channel that's watching this is like, why is he on a forestry sawmilling channel? Because they're watching all the power station and off-grid power videos. But the truth is, that's because I'm broken. And so I can't even drive I might be able to drive to my cabin, but I don't think I could without a lot of pain right now. My hand, it doesn't, the thumb is, it's getting better, but gripping a steering wheel for very long really bothers the tendon right here.
Well, and if you think about it, Eric, though, a lot of people buy sawmills to build something off grid like your cabin, and then powering up that cabin. It all goes hand in hand for a lot of people.
True. I think so. And that I will get back to it. I mean, a few more surgeries and healing time, and I will get back to it. I mean, I've got a lot of plans. I do actually plan to put a roof over my sawmill, Craig. And for those that don't know,
if Craig comes up there
bugging me about my sawmill the weather for I don't know how many years now, probably 4.
Well, I got my sawmill and we had a roof over mine in 2 weeks. I could not stand it without a roof.
Well, but the thing is I think if like when I had my first sawmill, I probably would have done that fairly quickly with the first one if it stayed on the ground and didn't go mobile. But once I got mobile, especially when I got the LT40, its purpose was to be on the road. And so I was traveling so much with that mill that there was no point in putting a cover over it because it wouldn't sit anywhere long enough for it to benefit from it. I mean, like from an investment standpoint, it didn't make much sense, right? Put a cover over my sawmill and then pull it out 2 hours later and head down the road.
But didn't you used to keep it in your garage though at your house?
No, my garage, it wouldn't fit in my garage. In my shop, it would fit in my shop if I stuck the tail of the mill through the planer room door.
Okay.
I could just because from the planer room, which is my studio right now, from that room to the front of my shop, I want to say is 24 feet. And the mill is about 25 feet long. So I did have it in there one winter when I had some hydraulics problems and I was putting a laser on it. And so it actually spent that winter inside. That's the only winter since I bought it in early February of 2016 that mill's been inside.
Now, you gave up on the laser idea?
No, I have the laser, but the truth is that until it's under a cover, laser
there's another reason for a sawmill shed.
Yeah, right. No, I mean, the laser works as long as the sun ain't shining. And so the truth is I just haven't gotten back to it with the light right that I could drill some holes, and I need to remount it because it's about 1.25 inches too high. And I love the laser, actually, even though I haven't finished the mount on it. It does work. It works great. It's a non-standard laser, and it works good. But honestly, the Wood Miser laser would be a hell of a lot easier to put on a Wood Miser. But like for somebody like Paul and Andy or you guys that don't have already pre-built mount setups, I'm telling you, those lasers are nice. I think Craig was one that I talked to about it early on too, and he was like, "Dude, you're gonna love it." Yeah. And he was right. And if the light is right, it does work even off 1 inch. Believe it or not, it actually is nice because you flip the laser on and you go, "Oops, my side supports are still up," and down they go. Right.
So is that green or red, Eric?
Mine is
green.
That's green, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
think
Wood Miser ones are red.
That's right.
I think they have a newer one that's green.
Yeah, we set we set lasers up on our mills, and I just took it off because I just didn't use it.
Yeah, I think one of the differences may be speed, because when I was running a manual mill, the only time I ever ran into a side support was when I had left one up on a short log and it was further down the deck and the mill head was still running and I decided to push it out of my way and it ran right into the side support. Otherwise, on a manual walk beside mill, you're just so part of everything that's going on that I think it's less of a deal. But you get into the LT probably 35 for LT 40, LT 50s, you're running so fast and so much is going on. It's nice to have that on there. And I don't know, Craig, what you think, but that's my thought.
I agree 100%. I've got one on both of mine.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just a reference. It's just a reference, so you can make make that step a little bit quicker.
Well, and the other thing is it helps you make that cap cut a little quicker too. I think you'll know if your cap cut's going to be, too shallow somewhere or too deep or whatever. You'll know, and you wouldn't need to go down to the middle of the log and measure it like I do, because with the laser you'll see right away. So it'll save you time and make production,
especially with logs with a lot of taper.
Yeah, or big logs. I mean, it. The thing is the laser's all about more production. And when you're striving to constantly push that production envelope up, then it starts to make a lot of sense, right?
Well, John, what else do you got about the shows? I'm interested.
This is where they wish, right there.
Oh, dang
this
it.
is where they wish my mic was muted right here, so they didn't have to all hear this.
What?
If you're,
Sorry, are you there?
If you're not running diesel fuel, you're wrong. That's what I got to say. There you go.
Had to get it in there, huh?
Got to get that one in there, right?
Why not?
I got to say that every episode. I thought that was the intro for Mike, is what I really thought that was. Here comes the intro for Mike, hopefully. Let's see. Hudson Mills. This was episode 2, right?
I think so.
No, I thought it was 3.
Could have been.
What Hudson does, what Hudson sells, and then we'll be open for question and answers. The host here may ask a few questions first, and then we'll open it up to the floor. So go ahead, Mike. You're up.
Yeah, how we doing, everybody? So I'm Mike Spadero with Hudson Forest Equipment. We are located in Barneveld, New York, on the East Coast. We have multiple dealers throughout the country. United States, Canada.
You're going to put a funny one up,
a few
John.
other locations.
No, they're not all funny. They're not all funny. He did a good job.
He did do a good job. No,
that was a good show.
he and I.
Jack did an awesome job too, though.
Yeah,
both of those guys know their stuff. I'm telling you.
Yeah, absolutely. They got to.
Do. And for those that are, so the new audience, because I've noticed some audience turnover, for those that don't know, we're just BSing. So be sure to drop a comment in the chat. Let us know you're here. And if you got questions, ask them. And it doesn't matter what it's about. You want to know.
When is that log show that you and Michael are going to?
Yeah, so that's the Oregon Loggers Conference. I'm now not going.
Oh.
I think Michael's still going. I was going to go hang out at the Wood Miser and at the Hudson booth. But the weather has kind of sucked a bit here, and I know you guys don't want to hear it. But I didn't feel like driving my camper down the Columbia River Gorge in the ice and snow. And shut up, John. And honestly, because of my hand, driving long distance is a bit of a challenge still. And so I ended up bowing out because it would be, I think, about 6-7 hours driving time for me. So I was in that. I wanted to go, but putting my camper on my truck and then heading down in the Columbia River Gorge, if you've not heard about it, it can get ugly this time of year. And it's more because of the wind. So if you get a little bit of snow and a little bit of rain and a little bit of wind and a little bit of freezing, it becomes a skating rink. They just had like 105 car pileup just outside of Portland last week on the gorge. So I'm going, do I really want to take my F-350 Lariat dually with a 10-foot Arctic Fox camper on the back. You can do the math on what that's worth and head down that treacherous road. And I thought, I think I might jump in a Jeep and go to the cabin instead. So I can go to the cabin and put some new motion sensor 12-volt lights I got up.
Okay. Well, I know you don't want to hear about it, but when we look out the window right now, this is what we see.
Oh, wait. We don't see the fishing lake.
That looks like a tampon, Rick.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, goodness.
Wait, let me see what I see. Well, it's probably like this outside my window right now. Only
Yeah,
not
Eric.
there's
Eric
no
doesn't want to drive through an inch of snow, and Rick and Tim and Paul and Andy got about 6 feet. Eric
you
shut it all down for an inch.
Yeah, I got. That's funny, except for not even close.
There's no way I'm going out there with that dusty.
we get an inch of snow in June. What's happening at John? You had no snow either to speak about. Good God.
I had to brush the snow. I had to brush the snow with a broom off my deck twice this year.
Ooh.
That's big. That's
You should have used the leaf blower, John. It'd been faster.
I almost did a whole video about it. I could have talked for about an hour about how hard it was to get that snow off. There's a thunderous night. Thunderous night still around.
Where has he been? He hasn't been on for a while.
12 feet, and I cut a lot of lumber.
He would comment on every.
I mean, what I always tell my customers is, you don't need 20 feet. Don't.
Yeah.
That's some good comments.
I wonder where he went. We haven't seen him for a while.
Did he change his name? There's one changed their name, their channel name.
Oh, did they?
Somewhere around.
Was that were they from your channel, Paul?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Here's
oh,
shit. I got Chris. Here's Chris. He's in here tonight.
Yeah, Chris is in here tonight.
Yep.
Stupid
Here's
AI on Facebook
that is not when
trying to
Chris
take
is on.
over.
As late as it is, maybe we should invite him on another night.
Yeah. Oh, that ain't Chris.
No, because Chris said he was in his underwear that night. He didn't want to get no snow.
Well, maybe that was it. We didn't get a shot of him in his underwear.
Am I wrong? Didn't he say that? I'm in my underwear.
He did say that one
I didn't want to get on the show.
Yep. I think he even put a shirt on for us.
Yeah.
I thought that was.
Here, I'm gonna go ahead and share me driving in an inch of snow for you. Okay, ready? Here you go. Now, bear in mind, I got 35-inch tires, so it's come on, that's only an inch of snow.
Yeah, it's a little more than an inch, but it ain't 6 feet.
No, that's about almost 4 feet.
You see that, Eric? It's a nail biter.
Where did Eric go?
Lord. Uh-oh. I think he hit the wrong button because he put a...
Yep.
Maybe the snow's getting so bad.
Snow's getting so bad.
Maybe it was a traumatic trip for him and he just couldn't take it.
I see you have Zach loaded down there.
As a special guest this month, we have Zach from Logrite. How you doing, Zach?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much.
Here comes Eric.
So Zach is going to tell us all about his about the company that he's with and all the accessories and things that they have to help support sawmill and logging operations. And then we'll be open for questions after he gets done. All right, Zach, it's all yours.
Well, thank you. As I was introduced, my name's Zach. I'm the manufacturing engineer with Logrite Tools.
He's already not moving.
And a little bit about, the company before I go into the product line here. basically,
That's
Poor guy.
Yeah,
Now-
he
that's
had
a
hard
great
night.
story and a great company, though. You know,
Zach
But
did great.
John, I
Zach
did notice you were eating dinner that night.
I'm always eating. On a lot of these, I look back on a lot of these. I'm always eating. I was just thinking about that tonight. I was putting some in my mouth.
Now, if you remember that night Zach was on, he was doing great until somebody asked a question, and then he'd lock up.
Yeah.
It's like every time somebody
yeah.
asked him a question.
We said it was a
Every
10.
time Michael asked him the question.
That's the way John Faber was on the last one too. Remember?
Yep.
Yeah.
He was doing the same thing.
I don't know if I have another one of him locking up. I think I got one more of him locking up. I don't know if he lied. I think it's good. I think this one's good. Oh yeah, this is Gene Plummer comment. I can't
Now,
touch older
your
than me.
trailers and stuff, you build trailers that haul stuff too out of the woods, correct?
yeah. So the
You hear that delay?
as far as just a
He
He didn't have Starlink, that's for sure.
No, he had a delay. He was having a rough time.
He kind of reminds me of Mitch McConnell. He just keeps locking up.
Yep.
Well, Steve was busted on pretty heavy that night too.
Mm-hmm.
Steve was what?
Busted on him pretty well.
Oh,
Matter of fact, where is Steve? I haven't seen him in the last couple of ones.
I think they're having issues with his wife's father with Alzheimer's.
Oh no.
here's Jack. Here's episode 4 with Jack, right?
I don't know. You tell us.
Episode 4, May. This is May.
Miser customer service rep will work on sawmills, do routine alignments, maintenance on mills for customers, time on the road, also work trade shows and demonstrate the product and train customers how to run the product. So
I was impressed with that one too. That was my favorite episode right there.
Chris, I can't put a foam rubber over my internal mic on my computer. What's the matter? Is it too loud?
One thing all of the viewers should realize with the guests that we have on is that this is all after hours for them. So they're coming into the office or taking time out of their personal time to come on and chat with everybody too. So it's especially like when John Farber stayed until like 10 o'clock in the dark and it's cold.
Oh yeah.
Hey, John, just for you, I put up my 20 feet of snow picture.
I don't see it. Oh, behind you? Okay.
Been
They
there,
don't
done
look like
that.
the Jeep.
No,
that's the other Jeep. That's my old snowcat. When I was I was a communications manager for the phone company, and we had to go up on top of mountains all the time to fix things, and so you had to be winter survival qualified, and I had a snowcat. It was always an oh darn moment. Oh darn, you want me to go somewhere,
Well, right about now, I wish I had a snowcat or a damn bulldozer.
Right, I bet. Oh yeah. But I grew up in northern British Columbia, so I know what it's like. But I've learned that no snow is much nicer than snow.
We got to wait for Paul to get back for that one. So
Rick's like, no shit.
Here's Sawbucks.
Carbon steel there.
Sawbucks is still with
and
us.
so that's also what we sell to our blade dealers. And someone mentioned Joe Main earlier with ICT. That'd be an example of a wood miser authorized blade dealer, and they buy the blade coils.
Did Sawbucks change his name?
That looks like Steve. He went by Steve K at one time.
Yeah.
He started a channel. He called it Sawbucks.
So is my mic okay, guys? Chris saying it's really loud.
You're fine now, I think.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Still too loud? I mean, turn it down.
I think you
more.
just get excited.
All right, let me.
Yeah.
I got to mute mine.
They're all saying it.
So here's Paul, right?
Southern driver. Yeah, okay.
Paul's in
the Southern driver.
No, Paul's right here. But Paul's in the Paul is right
here. I'll change my background one more time.
There he is.
I'll show you where I used to live as a kid, you buggers.
He's in the same corner right now. This is where Paul was in this video. He's right in this corner. And watch the look on his face. You don't have to listen to what anybody says in the video. I don't know what's being said, but when Paul does this, it kills me. Watch this.
Book, and that's what we would be comfortable selling that retail for. And
did you see that?
I'm surprised I didn't look the opposite way.
It looked like he was looking right at that, didn't it? Huh? That was perfect to me. That was funny. I don't know why I caught that one. Sorry.
That's where you grew up, Eric?
Well, not where I grew up. Is my blue screen's out of the way here, isn't it? No, it's working. That's actually a cabin we lived in around 1969 in Vanderhoof, British Columbia, which is probably 700-800 miles north of where I am now. And that winter, I think, was the winter it got to 67 degrees below zero without a wind chill. And there was ice on the inside of the cabin wall.
I've never done that.
I grew up driving in British Columbia. That was, in the snow country. But today, I don't want to drive my $100,000 rig in the snow when other people don't know how to drive in the snow.
I wasn't. I'm not laughing at you. I'm not laughing at you, Eric.
Yes, he is.
I know.
These guys are complaining about 6 foot, and it just hit me funny. That was just funny.
I'm just having fun. It's just, it's all in good fun. I got to give Rick and Tim a hard time. And Paul and Andy, I saw the picture of your sawmill shed. I was like,
oh my God.
That's got to suck.
There's got to be like 6 foot on your log stacks, huh?
Yeah, shoveled most of that roof off 2 days ago, and the next day the rest luckily slid off. But
yeah, but it's a lot of weight on your log stack, so that helps them stay straight when they dry.
Exactly, yeah. Don't need to put cinder blocks up there.
Right.
No doubt.
Well, we went to put lumber or slabs in the crafter's box. The crafter's box today. And the walls were bulging and the roof was sagging, and I'm like, holy crap. We better get up there and shovel that off.
How much snow was on it?
Probably about 3.5 feet.
Wow.
And that freezing rain here yesterday probably soaked right into it.
The most I think we've had out here in the desert was around 05. I think we had 19 inches. And we had a bit of a flat roof on the house we lived in on one part of it. I was worried it was going to come down. So I got up and, but that's, now at the cabin, that you can get 3 or 4 feet up there without an issue. And that one scene where I was driving in my Jeep, if you don't know, big fat tires like that, especially if you air them down, they float a bit. So you're on about a foot of packed snow. And then those 35s were actually at one point, the snow was at the top level of the tire. So you're driving in, 4 feet of snow. But that's, we get dry years and we get wet. It's not like you guys with this lake effect stuff where you just get dumped on over and over again. But I do have to say, you live there. I learned long ago, warmer, drier climates are nicer.
Yeah, but
Depends.
I like living where we live, and we're not a stranger to snow, but usually we get like 1 week where it's cold and then it gets above freezing and the snow starts to melt and it packs down. But this year we've been below freezing just about all winter, and it's just stacking up and it's not melting and it's not packing.
Right. Oh yeah. My son lives in Chetwynd, British Columbia. So that's 45 minutes from Dawson Creek, which is mile 0 on the Alaskan Highway. And he sends me pictures every once in a while. 37 below 0, 40 below. All my pipes are frozen. Haven't had running water for 2 weeks. And I go, that's why I live where I live. The crafter said, the crafter's box. Somebody spelled box wrong, Tim.
You must.
Sawyers aren't known for their spelling.
Yeah, that's true.
That's got to come up.
You
Hey,
must have
Tim,
years when you get a lot of
Tim,
snow,
it's
don't you, John?
BOX.
Yeah, we have a lot of
No.
years when we get a lot of snow,
No.
but
No.
we haven't for that. It's we've just had 3 or 4 inches for the last 3 or 4 years. It's not been bad. Real mild.
I think that's what happened to us is we've gotten spoiled over the last few years because we haven't had a lot of snow at one time.
Yeah.
But this year it stuck it to us.
Our problem is, we can get, you can get 6 inches out here, and in the middle of these fields, that wind can blow, and you can have a 3 foot drift, 3 or 4 foot drift across the road in a matter of hours.
You get a lot of wind in your area, John.
A lot of wind.
And we actually do too.
That wind keeps blowing, and those snow plows just don't come out. And you can have 4 foot of snow. The road east and west in front of your house is totally bare. You can go that way as much as you want. There's not a snowflake on it. And then when you start going to that north and south road, that's it. You're done. There's 4 feet of snow blowing across there, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's no way you can go down that road. So as long as town is that way, you're fine. But as soon as you have to turn, you're screwed. It's done. You're shut down.
Well, you got a lot of farmland and prairie, though, right?
A lot of farmland.
Yeah, so you don't have the trees and stuff to break up your wind.
Nope.
Yeah, that's like it is out here. So the funny thing is people think Washington State is all the evergreen state, and I laugh. It's the everbrown state. The green is over on the wet side of the state, which is like maybe a third or a quarter of the state is where all that greenery is. This is really truly desert, like sagebrush and tumbleweeds and rattlesnakes. So there aren't any trees. They're just bare hills. So we're just like John. It just, you get wind all the time. And if we do get a bunch of snow and then it decides to get windy, we've had snow drifts. I know here in the Tri-Cities, when I was living about 80 miles north one year, they had the snow drifts were all the way up to the interstate overpasses, which is over 21 feet. They were buried. So we were getting them 4 or 5 foot drifts. Guys weren't able to make it to work because their road was 4 or 5 feet. So we don't get it like you. But if the wind picks up, oh yeah, then
this is what the sawmill shed looks like now. I can see that.
I can't see it.
Haley, stop that.
No, it's not. You got to tilt it different. What you can do is just put it in your background.
Yeah, put it in your background.
Let me
like you're sitting in snow.
Let me answer this question real quick, because when I answer it over here in the comments, it comes up as John Davison sometimes. Chris, we advertise our wood as green, and it's priced as green, so we don't have any problem getting rid of it. A lot of our customers are glad to dry it themselves.
Yeah, I try not to sell any green lumber here, but for a lot of that crafter stuff, a lot of that I sell green. And there's a guy who, purposely buys it green because that's how he wants it, and he wants it to nails it right on the wall of his house, or makes his craft right in his house, and he wants it to, crack or twist or bend, and that's the look he wants.
Well, the thing of it is,
there's a way to do it.
They can buy kiln dried hardwood. There's some big box stores around here that sell it.
Box.
But they charge $12 to $15 a board foot. So if we're selling,
live right now.
Is that the snow that was on the roof?
No, that's in front of the sawmill.
Oh.
Yeah, funny, Eric.
You live there.
We're selling hardwood.
Yes, we do.
If we're selling hardwood green, $2.50 to $3 a board foot, a lot of times people are glad to get a hold of it.
That's a good price for green.
Yes.
If it makes you feel better, Tim, it's supposed to be snowing here until 5 a.m.
Oh, good. That makes me feel better, Eric.
So I might get a couple inches.
It's supposed to be snowing here till 5 a.m. too, Monday morning.
Rick, you know what I saw on Facebook today? Guys got 18 to 28 inch wide black walnut, 9 foot long, 2 inches thick. How much do you think he was asking for a board foot?
Probably around $12.
$12. I could not believe that. $550 for a 9 foot long, 28 inch wide board.
Was it
Holy
green?
cow.
Was it
That's
green?
Board
actually,
or long?
Yeah, that was green.
that's actually cheap for walnut, though.
That's cheap.
Green?
Out where
that's
Craig,
$12 a board foot?
out where
Yep.
Craig is, walnut brings substantially more, doesn't it?
Yeah, almost 18.
Yeah, yeah.
That wide, those dimensions.
Oh,
Yeah. What was the dimensions again?
28, 19 foot long, or 9 foot 5 and 2 inches thick.
28 inches wide.
Yeah.
8/4.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like $539 for that piece of wood.
Yeah, you know, you could probably sell that for $1,000 if it was dry.
And the price is going to go up if it's got figure.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, my bar top is English walnut from the crotch, and it is beautifully figured. And I could have easily sold each one of those slabs for $1,000, no problem.
I just had a tree guy bring me a walnut log on Monday. This is like the fourth one I've ever had here. So they're far and few between here.
Oh yeah, I was milling for a guy once that he made gun stocks, and once we got into the log, every cut we stopped, and I'm milling by the hour. Every cut we stopped, he took a brush, brushed the log off, looked at the figure in the log, and determined where the next cut would be. And if he wanted gun blanks out of it, then I'd go drop 3 inches and cut it. If he didn't, then I'd drop an inch or two, depending on what he wanted to do. And every cut, though, literally, you can imagine how long it took to mill that log down, just one log. And it was like I had mostly walnut that day, but it was cut after cut because he told me he could get $10,000 for a gun stock.
Yeah, I had a gentleman bring me a tree that was deaf, and he did the same. He was a woodworker that did gun stocks, and he said the same thing. He just sat down at my material where I had it covered with a paper, and we just wrote to each other what he wanted. And he's like, "Hey, I'll let you decide on what to cut." But he sent me pictures of some of the stuff he did afterwards, and amazing stuff.
You said the log was deaf?
The guy that brought me the wood was deaf.
Oh, okay. I thought you said the log was deaf. I'm like, what?
No, so we just had to write out everything that, it would have taken him too long to, yeah.
Sorry, Craig, it's my hearing.
Well, I think early on one of our episodes I talked about, I get a publication every week. It's called Hardwood Market Report, and it gives you the price on green hardwood and what they're paying for it in different areas. They break it down, northeast, southeast, southwest, central. So it gives you an idea what to sell your green hardwood for. And I think if you watch one of our recent videos, I explained that most of the crafters wood is actually firewood. It's the top of the tree where all the limbs and the knots and stuff are.
Yeah.
Our good logs, the veneer logs and stuff that we have, we will advertise those logs for sale with cutting included. And we do really well with that. We'll get people to buy like a big hard maple log from us veneer and want it cut quarter sawn, and that's what we'll do.
Mm-hmm.
I just sold some black cherry. I had it on my Facebook page. I just sold some black cherry for $125 a board foot.
$125 a board foot?
Yep. I sold $6,000 of it.
Send them here our way, will you?
$125 a board.
Hey, Paul, we can make a fortune. You ready?
It's go look at my Facebook page. It's not it's not
Oh,
cherry
I
that
said-
you're ever going to find again. You know.
But
It's amazing.
you guys ever watch Blacktail Studio? Yeah, look
again.
Blacktail Studio. Look him up on YouTube. He makes tables that are $10,000 or $20,000. And
Oh yeah.
you know, the thing is it's about who you're selling to more than what you're selling sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well-
and if you know if it's somebody who's trying to build a chicken coop, well, you ain't gonna pay much for the wood he's gonna build it with. But
Right.
if it's somebody who can take that $1,000 slab and turn it into a $10,000 bar, well, then it's all subjective, right?
Exactly.
Right.
If
Well, you're talking about that.
you know, the thing is out where you're at. I mean, everybody's got hardwood where you're at, right? Out here, not so much.
Right. And like I said, that depends on the area you're in. Craig was talking about that walnut tree that he's got, the log, and how much he's going to make out of it. He would probably make double out of that log what we would here.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure.
You were talking about that highly figured cherry that you had, John.
Yeah.
I told you that was garbage to bring it here, and we get rid of it for you. With
Yeah, oh,
I told
The
you we
only other
swapped
time
out-
I ran into anything like that was free sawmill weekend. I sawed up a walnut log for a guy. He brought a walnut cross log. It was 10, 12 foot long. And I said, I can saw it for you and we can try to get some figure out of it. But I said, I've sawed up probably 50 walnut crotch logs and never got the figure that I wanted, you know what I mean, out of this. I said, but if you get it, it's worth hundreds of dollars a board foot. I said, but if you don't, it's just another piece of walnut. And I cut that whole log up for him for free on free sawmill weekend. And I got into that figure. Man, I was like, you got just made a couple $1,000s here. He's like, really? I was like, yeah, about $25,000 you made out of this log, bud.
Did you? Did they tip you on those free sawmill days?
Free sawmill days? They had to buy my daughter a birthday present.
Oh, okay.
And she got a lot of gift cards from Tractor Supply.
Hey, John, you ought to hear how many times Rick tells Paul and Andy about twice a week how their cherry logs are nasty and they need to get rid of them. Bring them over to his mill.
That was
We got some Colorado spruce you can have. It's pretty old.
What's that?
Hey, Paul, you guys don't sell lumber though, do you?
Very rarely. On occasion,
you're
we will.
just hoarding it.
Basically.
when we went up to visit Paul and Andy, they gave us a tour of the place. If you see the piles of cherry firewood they have, it just hurt my heart.
Oh my God, the totes after totes after totes.
It just made me sick to know that somebody was cutting cherry up like that into firewood.
Do you guys sell firewood?
Most of it I give away. It's just in our way. Neighbors and friends take it.
You must be rich.
I'm thinking.
We just block it up and they take it. They get to split it though.
The rest of us are poor. We'd be selling it.
Eric, they only have 10 tractors.
10? Good God.
Only 5.
What the hell are you doing right
Only 5. Only 5.
I can tell you this.
LT15, you could be running an LT70.
I don't know.
I keep telling them that.
I don't know if they're rich or not. They live close to Hudson manufacturing plant. And when they drive up there, all the salesmen run out and say hello to him.
Yeah, they don't walk, they run.
Right. Well, you know what? It's good to live a good life, Paul.
It is.
No envy here.
But we never got into the sawmilling as a business to start with. It was just we had so much cherry that, like Tim and Rick were saying, that cutting for firewood, I wanted something with it besides cutting up for firewood. Had these nice straight, 24-inch cherries that I was blocking up for firewood, and said, gotta be something better to do with it. So that is really the biggest reason we got into sawmilling, as well as the storm damage that we had to clean that up. So we never got into it in the first place for money.
Now you doing it for? You plan on using that wood someday for yourself? Just
Oh yeah, yeah.
They build bluebird houses.
What are you building? You're going to build Taj Mahal with all that cherry, or what?
Maybe.
I mean, you only have like 85 piles of it that's 10 foot high and 22 foot long. And how wide's the bundles?
They're just making YouTube videos.
20 feet wide, 4 foot wide. Wow.
4 foot wide.
Yeah, they're really big.
You know,
No,
that's the
seriously.
thing. Hey, Craig, you hear these guys? These guys back east, they got sawmill sheds all made out of hardwood.
Mm-hmm.
This is my oak, black cherry, walnut sawmill shed.
Now that's
What's
what
that over
we make
there? Oh,
pallets
that's
out of.
my oak, black cherry firewood. Firewood.
You know how
Black
many?
cherry makes excellent pallets.
Well, you know, as when the red oak's going for 25 cents a board foot, you know, what else are you going to do it?
Out here, if I see a red oak, I almost have a heart attack.
You know how many? You know how many barns are built out of oak in New York?
I'm sure lots of them. Yeah,
old barns.
Yeah.
It's insane. I wouldn't. It's like oak, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ash too, back in the day, right? Ash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Ash is poor man's oak.
That was before the beetle killed them all. You know, in 10 years.
It's 9 years now, Rick. 9 years.
Yeah. You know, John, you
so Sawbucks mentioned the whole typing sawmill. That's never worked for me. Did you know that?
You got to be on Two Brothers Outdoor channel.
Oh,
You got to be watching Two Brothers Outdoor channel.
Yep.
And for the 8-ball to work, you got to be watching my channel. Exclamation 8-ball
so that
space and ask your question. Or
so here
on
I
Rick and
am, a
Tim's.
computer geek, even, and I couldn't figure that out.
Sawbucks came up.
yeah, because you come in through our channel.
Oh, okay.
They have to be watching your channel.
You know, John, you were talking about that cherry when we cut up that 150-year-old maple stop that we cut down.
Yep.
It's all spalted. It was all solid. And a guy came out and looked at a piece, and I shot him a price on one piece. And he says, I'll take the whole pile. And he even paid extra for the musket ball that we cut in half with the saw blade that we found in the center of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We made ungodly amount of money off that.
It wasn't 25,000, but it was close.
No, it wasn't even close, but
it wasn't even close to that though. But
it was
we made
good.
something.
Yeah.
And
somebody just said that, you know, in the chat there that white oak was going for more than walnut is right now.
Using it for
right.
whiskey barrel staves.
Yep.
Well, Steve says they use it for firewood in Virginia, right?
Yep. Steve
Is
says
it white oak?
they're cutting a lot of firewood, Virginia.
Yeah.
That's $22 a board foot right now. White oak. Yeah,
Wow.
2-inch.
Wow.
2-inch white oak's $22 a board foot.
Wow.
Kiln dried.
And we got nothing but red oak on our property.
Damn.
Yeah, and red oaks.
Yeah,
Red
no
oaks.
whatsoever.
Yep, $3 a board foot if you can get rid of
I'd
it.
trade you. You can you know, ship free, of course, to me some red oak, and I'll ship you some ponderosa.
I would almost do that.
Equal board foot range, right?
I would almost do that. How about equal
And
weight?
the ponderosa would weigh about half as much too.
Yeah, I was gonna say equal weight. That's how they're gonna measure it on the highway.
Equal weight.
Yeah.
I might have to send a freaking train load.
No. Tell him it's got to be kiln drying first, Eric. There you go.
Wait, but I'd have to kiln dry my ponderosa. Oh no. Oh, okay.
Then you'll make out like a bandit.
So I'm thinking kiln dried red oak, milled up already, of course.
Milled and planed.
Quarter sawn.
Quarterson.
Plain.
Yep,
and I will happily send you raw ponderosa.
We'll send you a cane, John.
Sounds like a deal.
For weight, I might do it for weight.
This deal. He'd be like, "Wait, what?"
I might do it for weight.
You do it by weight, I'd have to send a whole freaking freight train.
Yep, that'd probably be the only way I'd do it. But so the thing is I got red oak. It's everywhere. I can't get rid of red oak. Black oak, red oak,
Send it to me, John.
pin oak.
I'm trying to tell you.
You know, you can't get rid of it. But ponderosa pine, I can't find any.
So if I drive my
You know?
truck out there with a trailer on it, you'll just load some red oak on the trailer for me?
Yep,
Just pile that sucker high?
I sure would. As
All
much as you
saw
want.
logs?
All saw logs.
Well, I'm getting excited for spring. I can't wait for our stump dump to open back up.
Stump dump.
Oh, we did well on the stump dump this year.
The way you guys are going this year with the whole new big old Arctic blast that's coming down, spring ain't coming till July again.
We won't be doing any fly fishing until September.
I'm telling you what, this year I might have to cut my video production back because I need to get out and get some fly fishing in. I got hooked last year. And I've been wanting to do it for so long, but for those that don't know, I have got pretty bad tendonitis in both arms and arthritis in both hands. So I couldn't do it for a while, but then I got to a point where I finally could do it. My right is doing pretty good and I can fly fish. What a blast, man. That was
that's fun.
Especially when I learned to not snap on the backside and snap the fly right off, right?
10 and 2.
Yeah, well, I started getting that down, and I'm telling you what, we were at this one little lake that it had a real kind of a lily pad, swampy little area, and the fish were just churning in there. But with spin casters, it was a waste of time trying to go in there because you just get them tangled up. And I was like, well, let me break the fly rod out because I was still learning. I'm like, give it a try. Poof! It almost instant. I was like, oh, look at this.
Yeah,
just nagging them left and right. It was awesome.
Very addicting.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Very, very addicting.
Plane it and then drum sand it.
Which do you think would be better for finishing planer or drum sanding?
Well,
my philosophy is that all wood moves, and you have to, even if you mill it perfectly, the more figure that wood has in it, the more likely it's going to move. So you got to plane it first.
Yeah.
And in my case, it's really more of a joiner than a planer. I use a 3 1/4 inch router or 3 1/4 horse router with a 3-inch planer bit on a slide.
Yep.
And that get them nice and flat, and then you start sanding. I don't have a drum sander. That's too rich for my blood. I'm just a working class guy. So my sander is like this. I do have a motorized sander. It's not by
the old palm sander.
Yeah. Well, I've got a belt sander too that I'll run up and down them as well, but yeah, I'll finish them with a palm sander. And then I actually just use Stone Coat Countertops epoxy resin, and man, I'll tell you, that takes a lot of the work out too because it's self-leveling. So if your sanding's not perfect, no one's ever going to know.
I
wasn't a woodworker earlier.
Hang on, here's John.
We got an Amish wood shop down the road.
There's John.
Me neither.
Oh, when he was out.
Not up.
Yep.
He was out.
How come I can't see it?
Right there.
Comments in the right. Yep.
Running an edger.
Running the edger.
Yeah, brand new edger.
I wanted to be down there in Oregon with them next weekend. I thought that'd be a lot of fun. And I was making sure I was going to have a place because I can't walk that much. So, I brought this out earlier, right? But, so I would have to have somewhere to go sit down. And, but yeah, I'm just not going to drive down there. It's a bad time of year.
What did you say about the Amish, Rick?
We got an Amish woodworking shop about 12 miles away that a lot of people buy bar tops from us. They got a 6 foot drum sander. Wow. The drums on it are 6 foot long, and they tell me they run it through there twice. It's as smooth as glass.
Not bad.
Wow.
Must be nice.
Ready? Here's the, I don't know, some guy called the Kilted Sawyer's making comments on her.
You ain't got one of
I know who
the
it is, but Kilted Sawyer.
What was that?
and it's a total
I don't know what he's
sales
talking about.
pitch where you build this as you go.
What do you think?
Amen.
You know who that was, Craig?
No.
That's when Steve was talking about what was that first mill they bought?
Norwood.
Norwood, yeah. He hated that service department. He hated them.
There's, yeah. Let's see what else we got. Oh, here's one. Here's a good one. Here's a good one. Ready? This is the 5th episode too. So this is in June. This is in June when Tim was sick, right? Or hurt something.
Well, I
or
bought
something.
I bought a band mill sprayer running by
Watch it.
myself.
What'd you say, Paul?
McCoy or something like that?
Yep, McCoy. Yeah, you're right. I
I
used to
don't
watch
know,
him all the
YouTube
time.
channel.
He was pretty good sawyer.
Here comes
Yeah,
Tim.
he passed away, and his
can
wife,
see how sick
his
he is.
son sold that mill.
Come on,
I
Tim.
think that ran by hydraulics too, and they had the log loader and everything.
There he is.
Oh yeah,
There's Tim popping in, taking over. Oh, he leaves, and oh, yeah,
Oh no,
there
that's
you go.
when I
That's better
had
already.
my surgery.
Yeah.
I had my surgery.
Now we're like, hey, we're doing good, man.
We
got rid of we got rid of the two
Then we're
brothers.
like, oh man. And then we're like, oh man, he's back.
Did we do it again? Get rid of him?
That was a fun episode.
Well, gents, I'm gonna call it quits. We're a little over 2 hours, so I'm gonna go down and visit the wife tonight and call it a night. But it's been fun. Been
Well,
crazy. Been fun.
I wouldn't mind shutting it down now. We've been on for 2 hours, like over 2 hours.
Okay.
So what do you say,
Well,
guys?
we're not shutting it down until you hear this one. I
Okay.
can tell you that right now.
Right?
I said we're
Right
not shutting it down until you hear this one.
You better put it up.
If it doesn't have cement blocks on it. But if it has cement blocks on it, you know, they're lazy thieves. They're not going to unload the cement block. So there's another reason to putting weight on top of it. Keeps the thieves away.
Do you have much problem with theft?
No. I have abundant.
Because you have
cement
concrete blocks on it.
Yeah, we got too many blocks on it. Read the comment. You see the comment? We have a lot of problem with our thing. Oh, yeah, tree, and they scrapped. You know what I mean? That's out through a little bitty crawl. Yeah, I understand that's copper, but
Yeah.
well, the propane was still on. Yes, we can see your head, hon.
Yeah. The junkyards around here won't
Come on,
buy the
Tim.
copper wiring and all that stuff without driver's license and all that. And if they see it's a lot of copper wiring from a house or something, they will call on you.
Yeah, they're
Have
cracking
you-
down on it too here. Oh, come
It's
on.
bad.
Out here, if you take copper or brass, they'll
I messed that one up.
I know what you're getting at. Camp Fest.
Yeah, I know. Where was that comment? It was right here. Huh? Oh shoot! I didn't click furnace ducts. That's crawl space.
All right,
That
guys.
sucks.
I'm gonna call it quits. It was fun though.
Dang.
Thanks for joining
All
us,
right.
Eric.
Thanks,
Yep.
Eric. I think we
Have
can
a
call it
great
quits too. Yep.
All right, guys. We will hang tight a minute. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next month.
Thank you, Jim. Good night, Chris. Good night, Steve. Dan, I don't know if you're still with us or not, but good night. We appreciate everybody that stopped by.
Sawbuck.
We want to thank everybody for stopping by the show tonight. And remember, it's the third Saturday of every month that we all gather and are on the show. See you later, guys.